Psalm 23.
Welcome to the Carr and Seguin Show, hosted by Devon Carr and Paul Seguin, where two Michiganders dive into real estate, outdoors, community building, and everything in between. Yo, yo!
What's going on?
My brother from another mother.
Boom, boom.
Episode 96.
Yes, sir.
Dude, we're 4 away from the big 1-0.
Yes, sir.
0.
Who would have thought?
That's crazy. Crazy. I know I wanted to get into, we have one very big special announcement.
Yes.
To announce. Well, I do.
You do.
I do.
You do. I'm just riding in the jump seat next to you.
Yeah.
I mess with
Yeah. Is that Johnny laughing again?
I was giggling back.
I'm always giggling. Right, you guys just say a lot of stupid stuff. Like I'm sitting here, I'm digesting Devon's boom boom.
There was a topic though that we did not discuss on the last show that I did want to get at. I know this is dropping a week or so later. It's fine, right? We can still talk about it. The Lions. We should have talked on the last one, but we got very heavy into rates and CPI and, why you need to start talking. But the Lions got robbed from playoff
They did.
berth.
It was rough.
Johnny, you can chime in whenever you have any insight behind the glass. But we were talking off air, which we should have recorded because it was a very beautiful flowing conversation, which always happens when we come into the studio to record. We have these. Obviously, you guys wouldn't know because it's not recorded. But we always have these beautiful topic-oriented conversations, and we're like, what are we doing? And then we try to reenact it like we're about to, and it's never as good. But so we're going to try to just push it out of our minds like it never happened.
I feel like that's one reason I did not succeed as an actor.
Because your good stuff comes out behind the camera?
Yeah, I just can't. If it's not happening now, I can't reenact it. I can't do the same.
Well, I'm just interested in wondering about your 8th grade drama class you took.
Oh yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Do we need to reminisce?
No.
Well, what we were getting at though, that before I kind of cut us off, and we already know we were recorded a show before to get back into this, but there was a series of calls during the Seattle Rams game. And I'm sure most of you maybe listening know that game determined everything. It was either Seattle wins, Lions out then, but if Green Bay wins, Green Bay's in. But if Seattle lost, then it's a complete toss-up between Lions and Packers. Whoever wins goes in the playoffs. And there was just numerous calls towards the end of the game of the Seattle Rams that just, I don't know about you all, and I believe you're on the same page. Could you just it was very clear as day, like there was some motive behind these calls. Did you guys hear that the line judge official he was like a Seattle resident? Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
So he's under investigation himself. I know, because I know we talked off air that our owner, Sheila Ford, right?
Yep. Sheila Hamp.
Yeah, because she's married.
Hamp.
Yeah, she's even dropped the Ford name off the back of her name when you announce her now.
Hey, that's actually probably not a bad thing though, because there is a Ford family curse that is real in this organization. And maybe that's why.
Didn't Peyton Manning and Jeff Daniels put that to bed?
The curse?
Wasn't that the curse?
They try to get rid of the Bobby Layne curse.
Yeah.
And then when he was leaving, yeah.
And it worked. We didn't get in the playoffs, but it sure turned things around right after that.
Yeah.
Because what game did they do that on?
It was about 3 games ago at the end of the regular season, right? When they did that, maybe 4.
No, I think it was when they first started winning. So what was their? Didn't they win like 6 or 7 their last?
I
7?
think
So
they
I
were
think
1
it
and
started-
6.
Yeah,
so
they
it was
were-
the 8th
yeah.
week is when it
Yeah.
all began.
Yeah, I
Right
think
at
that was
halfway in
when
the
it-
season.
I think that's when they did it
Oh, really?
because then it turned it right around. And then they started winning, and then
What did
everybody-
they said something on air? It
Yeah,
was during
I
the
think
Manning thing?
they
That who
did
said it was?
something at Ford Field. I forgot what it was.
Was it during the No, it wasn't the Thanksgiving game. Couldn't have been. That was into their run. Because I thought, wasn't Jeff Daniels on the Thanksgiving game?
He was on the Thanksgiving Day because he was part of the. What week was that? Bat to whiskey at Ford Field. October 29th is when they did it.
Oh, really?
Well, regardless, I guess it's happy to have the curse removed if it is.
Yeah. No.
Places features an episode of Manning, Daniels, and Keegan Michael Key, and it's hilarious. Omaha Productions sent us the entire episode to screen. It's going to debut on ESPN Plus for everybody on Sunday. Here's a clip for you now.
Is there a bathtub in the end zone of Ford Field? Am I on drugs? Trust me, Jeff. Google curse-breaking spell, and you'll come up with this. Fill a tub with 100 cups
Let me
of
see.
water
Let me
and
see.
a cup of salt. Doesn't smell like water, because it's whiskey. Bobby Layne would have preferred that. If this stuff really works, why didn't you use it to put a hex on the Patriots? Belichick's dark magic was just too strong.
Belichick's torn magic.
It's really funny. You watched it with us last night, Dave.
Jeff is always
I never saw that. I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
He's known to be a funny guy, too.
That was it. It had to have been the beginning of,
It's when they started winning
yeah?
because I know they brought it up a couple more games after
Because they were winning.
because they were winning.
They're like, the curse is
It was-
lifted.
yeah, it was
The
right
curse
after.
is lifted. Well, thank God it took a Dumb and Dumber freaking person to finally. I mean, that makes complete sense.
Right.
We need someone called Dumber to come on our dang field and put a whiskey curse on us to remove the Ford curse. Well, thank God for Jeff Daniels.
Right.
And Peyton Manning. Forever in the Detroit Lions' debt. No, but she's made a big fuss about it too.
Right.
I know, Johnny, you mentioned about that article. I saw it too earlier today that she's raised a lot of questions. She's called numerous other owners and got them behind her, agreeing that the events that happened were pretty blatant.
Yeah.
I think to the world that it's like why? And I guess like you said too, is there in the article, they're kind of suggesting like a sky judge,
Yeah.
and another, I don't know if it's like a group of people or one person that they can go to real quick to say, hey, does this call need the standards that need to be reversed?
Right.
After the officials have even made the call.
Right.
I mean, it's not just football. I mean, you see it all the time in all of our sports, right? What's the word I'm forgetting now? Flop.
Oh yeah.
You see so many of these guys just fake getting hit. I mean, the worst I think I've ever seen was like in a soccer game where the dude was like not even close. And he's like, oh,
That is the worst.
He kicks me. It's like, dude, there's 5 feet in between
Right,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. To me, in soccer, as soon as you fall down, you have to come out and they run shorthanded for X amount of time.
Really?
And they'll stop that. No, that's what they should do.
Oh, well,
stop
yeah.
that damn flopping.
No,
right? Or
it's-
once you go down, you have to lay there for a minute and a half
Yeah.
in that spot, and you can't move.
And the only reason why I say flop is because the call on the kicker
Right.
was a joke. The
joke.
dude was he already had his both feet planted after kicking the ball. And I mean, you could put a stop clock on the replay, and I'm guaranteeing you at least 2 to 3 seconds go by, and then all of a sudden, then the guy hits him.
Right.
Like he didn't ruin the kick.
Right.
There should be no roughing the kicker. The roughing the kicker is designed that if you ran into him, which then affected the punt,
And
there's the penalty.
he doesn't have his.
Not just like, oh, no one can touch him. And I think that's the other, besides the point, like the guarding of the quarterback. Dude, you're a freaking other play on the field, dude.
Well, wasn't that?
Light him up.
Didn't that happen to the Lions? Was it last year? It was against the against Green Bay, and I forgot what it was at the end of the game, and we got a face mask call because Aaron Rodgers whipped his head back like somebody grabbed his face mask, and then when he looked at the replay, it never even touched his face. It touched his shoulder.
Yeah. And it's I think those kind of
they're gonna
plays should be reviewed because at the end of the day, did it happen? And if the answer is no and that call was incorrect, it needs to be reversed.
Right.
I mean,
I think the games are just so fast. Everyone is just so fast now. It's got to be tough for a ref to really. We all see it in slow motion.
Well, we see it because we see multiple replays.
Right. And they're looking at it fast where people are running 4-3s and there's 11 people on the field and things are happening and it's got to be tough. But, at the same time, if the game's going to keep getting faster and more evolved, you really hate to replay everything.
No, but
I hate to get to that point, but the more and more when things are decided on calls.
Yeah, I like to make 2 quick points. One is technology changes, the times changes. Why the hell there's not a computer chip in that football that tells if you've crossed the line of a goal line or a first down makes no sense to me. Why are we running chains out there that are inaccurate as hell to tell whether or not you've got a first down? That's crazy as hell. My second point is it is an exciting time for the Lions and the ownership. At least in the past, when we've got jobbed, you never heard anybody making a stink about it. However, the news would say, oh, but, William Clay Ford made an issue, and he's not going to let you in on it. Or Martha Ford's made an issue. You just ain't going to hear on it. At least you don't know you don't know if they did or not. All you have to do is agree with them. At least now you know, hey, she's going to say something, and you're going to know that she said something. Yeah. It's coming from her rather than coming from some supposedly insider, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I can tell you one thing right now. I'm in a 3-way chat with my brother and my dad, and we've lately, obviously because of the Lions, it's been a lot of Lions chat.
Right.
And my brother, even today, I know this was out yesterday, that our offensive coordinator committed to staying in Detroit. And there's also 3 defensive backs. Let me pull this up.
Defensive players. It's John Kaminsky, Isaiah Buggs, and
Alonzo.
It's not Alonzo.
And
Anzalone.
Anzalone. All committed and told GM Holmes that they will take pay cuts to make the season work and stay on the team because of, I think, their team cap or whatever is a little questionable, isn't there, or something like that?
I think they have a lot of cap space.
Yeah, they're going to go. They're going to go into the season pretty good. I think they're going to be in the $30 million range in that, and they've got a couple people that are also going to drop off the books. That are drop off the books is going to help that, and then there's another like $12,000 or $15,000 of players, Brockers and things like that they're just going to drop their contracts and they'll just be done with them.
Right.
So the Lions should be pretty good in cap space.
But the point of what I was getting at is like when you have when you have players coming out and saying, I'll take a pay cut to stay, when you have an offensive coordinator that is being literally freaking pulled by multiple NFL teams and he says, I'm staying, you have obviously the heck of a finish year that we did.
Right.
Dan Campbell is bringing this whole new mantra. You have the owner finally actually opening their mouths to fight for their franchise and their team. Mm-hmm. Like you're building a culture that people want to be a part of. And I'll say it, like Detroit has never been that. I mean, sure, we've had hope. Yeah, and the Lions, I'm saying. Yeah. We've had some hope seasons that they look good. There's promise. But then you don't have stuff like this happening. I mean, this typically, and I think in any team. I mean, what's his, I don't forget what is our OC's name?
Ben Johnson.
People don't do that.
Right.
I mean, your dream is to be a head coach in the NFL. Here's your freaking
I think it was
platter opportunity.
I think it was smart. I mean, depending on where
I think it's super smart
where he was actually going to go. But I mean, say he went to a team that
is in the middle of a rebuild,
a few years, and then he gets fired, and then it's going to be very tough to get a head coaching job again.
They were talking about that on the radio this morning.
Yeah, I mean, once you do that, then you're trying to fight back to get offensive.
No, I 100% agree with it. But I think when people like him in his position are put in that position,
right,
99.9% take the head coaching job.
Yep.
Because it's like, here's my dream job. Let me pick who I want to go with the most based upon who's talking with me, and they go.
Right.
And I say that in regards to like, heck yeah, like one frickin' cheerio for you, dude, but also for us, because it's like that was huge for the team.
Right.
I mean, you just sent a message.
Nobody wanted him to leave.
You sent a message not only to your teammates though, but to the whole freaking league.
Right.
Right.
Saying like, no, I want to stay here because what we're doing right now.
Right.
Like, yeah, everyone's dream is to become a head coach to go where? The Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
And he chose here because that's obviously still his same goal. It's everyone's goal on that
Right.
freaking team
Well,
to go to
yeah.
the Super Bowl. And for him to choose, I mean, I just was like, dude, that tells you right there
huge.
what's going on in the locker room
Yeah.
Well, that's what
and the
happened.
heads of everyone in there.
Was it 01, 02 for the Red Wings when they got Hall, Robitaille, Hasek? They said a bunch of players took pay cuts so they could get everybody.
Right.
And so did the players that came over.
And I
took
almost
cuts.
wonder if like that was what they were trying to say to Holmes is like, hey, dude, we'll take pay cuts so you can go do what you need to do, even to bring more better personnel or people in.
Brad probably said, well, you're going to get one anyway, so.
You just made my job a little easier.
Thank you.
It's just nice to know that right now, at least with
People want to stay.
yeah, the people want to stay.
Yeah.
And in that whole thing with, back to Sheila again, that you just can't punch us in the face and we're just going to take it every time. We're finally now going to punch back and say, hey, this is going on, rather than just keeping our mouth shut and taking it, where a referee or whatever can just put stuff out.
Yeah.
The old Kelvin Johnson rule that just things just change all of a sudden.
That was
Right?
that was a part of I don't know if you read the same article that I read, but they were in the same thing talking about how, like, yet again, here comes another rule change on the foothills of Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Something happened to us, which then created another rule change
Right.
that screwed us. But whatever. I think you take it, and obviously the culture. If there wasn't a culture that obviously we can't see that happens in the organization and in the locker room, you're seeing it by these actions that are being taken, which is just huge to us fans because it's like, holy crap! Like, we're talking about the Lions here.
Yeah, because you figure that just with the Ben Johnson thing, going back to Devin's point about whether or not he felt he was ready or the right situation wasn't going to be there, he's making $1 million, right? He could have made $8 million, and maybe he only stays there for 3 years. That's $24 million compared to $3 million for the next 3 years.
Right.
Money
obviously is a huge driving factor, but let's be real. I think all money aside, everyone's goal, regardless of any sport, is to win a championship, right? It's your lifelong dream to lift a trophy, not lift a paycheck, like a big check.
Yeah.
Like, PJ Tours used to do.
on, right
Right? When they won a tournament,
Happy Gilmore.
they would hold a big yeah. So I think when you are in his shoes, and I'm only saying this for my opinion, is like, if you're in his shoes and I'm getting offers to take the head coaching position at other NFL teams, which I think is beautiful to what you're saying, because it's like, well, what am I walking into? What does the next 2, 3 years look like? Which could have been a big factor in his decision. But then you're also like, don't put a blind eye to what's already happening.
Right.
And you're right there
Yeah, I mean, everyone's
in the
saying,
mix.
I mean, if you waited one more year, get a little more experience and whatever, I mean, they're all saying Lions are projected to do extremely well next year. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you could win a Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator, I'm sure your job openings for head coach are going to be a lot bigger
Yeah.
the following year.
And I don't know if this is in Notre Dame's locker room or Michigan, not to say that team for you. But there's I think it's Michigan's actually. But there's a sign in there that says champions are for those who stay. Or something along that lines. I might be paraphrasing it wrong. But like, that's what came to my mind when I found out like he's staying. It's like, yeah. Because how else do you build a championship team if everyone just keeps leaving?
Right.
Especially the offensive coordinator that was just absolutely freaking killing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even when they were 1-6.
they were still scoring points.
I know, yeah.
Aren't
It
we-
wasn't an
weren't we like
offense
the
issue.
fourth highest rate offense when it came to points per
yeah.
game? Like they averaged 35 a game or 31 or something like that per game. It's like,
I mean,
dude,
their offense
you're
was good.
you're doing half of the battle. You're scoring points. Now we just got to get a little better on that side
Right.
to stop them. And I think that's always been my thing for this draft, which I'm excited. I mean, it's just so weird. We like literally, if you read our text messages, it's like my dad, out of all people, is like, this might be like the first time in my life I'm actually really excited to talk about the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gotten excited, but I've always had this false hope hanging right behind it.
I think one of the bittersweet things is, I mean, when you watch the football on Super Wild Card weekend, San Francisco, I mean, I don't know if we would have beat them. We might have. But when you see the other teams that played and how the Lions are playing, you know that
They were legit.
they were going to win.
They were legit.
They were going to beat those teams.
We were playing.
Even San Francisco. I mean,
Well, we beat 3 of them. The Jaguars, the Giants, right? Minnesota, right? So there's 3 of them right there that played this weekend that we beat.
Right.
Listen, we barely lost to the Eagles early in the season.
Yeah.
That was when we were, the scum of the league still.
Right.
Until we showed up. Right? I mean, like, I don't know. And I feel like the last couple of years even, it's always like how many games did we lose by one possession too?
Oh, yeah.
Right? We had so many of those games. So now it's like, okay, is this just accumulation of us actually getting our crap together?
Right.
And I think yes.
I mean,
And now you just build upon that foundation that's already laid. And that's what championship teams look like. I mean, you put a foundation of a solid team, both sides. I mean, dude, between Houston and Hutchinson and everything the offense has, I think you beef up that defense a little more.
with Kirby Joseph with all them interceptions. I mean, the way Brock was throwing that football in the San Francisco game. I mean,
He would've got
and
a couple of
Seattle
picks.
was dropping them. You would have thought that he would have got a few
I honestly, watching that
interceptions.
game, I think we could have beat 49ers.
Yeah.
I think if we play like we showed up the last half of the season, I think no doubt we would have beat them. And I think it would have. Man, how would this town be right now if we freaking won against the 49ers and we're in the freaking
We won a playoff game.
dude? Yeah, but
Not just make it. We won a playoff game.
holy crap, would that be crazy? Hey, we got till next year. I mean, dude, this is gonna be the most craziest
Off
season for Detroit. Oh, dude.
I can't even
This
imagine.
town is going to be on fire. The Ford Field is going to be busting at seams come preseason games, man.
Yeah, I think early in the season, I think I told you guys before, the tickets were like $56 in the nosebleed seats, right, that you get. That was before they added all the tax and all that crap. So they're like $90 when me and my daughter were looking at them. Then all of a sudden became standing room only, and they were $190 before taxes and all that stuff added. I hate to see what the price is going to be next year for a ticket.
Yeah,
This could go up.
yeah. Well, you know what? Let's do this because I know we got to cut. We're going to keep the audience on a cliffhanger.
Ooh.
We're going to keep the audience on a cliffhanger just because I think it's the right call. So I have a huge announcement to make next week, the next week's episode. Decided to do something that adds, I think it's going to be a huge addition to what I can offer my clients from a more rounded experience. I've had a few things happen in the last, well, I've done this before, I'll say that. But I've also had a few clients recently that I've helped with this, and it's kind of just a no-brainer to me to do. So I'm going to leave you on that cliff note.
Ooh, I like it.
On a little hanger there, and we're going to announce that next week's episode. So tune back next week. But it's always good to talk about a Detroit sports team doing well because we've had a little lull lately. Wings show promising, but I think that's still a lot of work there that Stevie Y's got.
Yeah.
Tigers, who knows? And I don't even know the other one because I don't.
Pistons.
I don't even know who that is,
They're in Paris.
dude.
know.
I don't even. Sorry.
I saw it on the news this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't watch any. So it's good. Go Lions. It's exciting to see, though.
Yes, sir.
It is. It's fun. It's fun. It's good. It's good.
I watched that the other day.
Did you?
Yep. Classic.
Oh, shoot, man.
He is funny.
Well, what is it called again?
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty. That's right. All right. Well, hey, everyone, have a great week. And like my voicemail says, make it a great day because it's your choice. Now go make it.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm Paul Segan with eXp Realty,
I'm Devin Carr, Gold Star Mortgage.
and that is Behind the Glass.
The Carr and Sequin Show.
That's right.
Boom.
Feel the roar. Lions in 23.
Boom.
See ya.
The primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series do not constitute legal or professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind. Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group, NMLS 3446, Equal Housing Lender.